Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to advise and extend my remarks. Time is wasting. Time is running out. We are sleeping while Ukraine is burning, the victim of an international criminal. Mr. Speaker, I rise today, as I have too many times before, just 72 hours before members return to their districts for weeks despite failing to secure aid for our allies in Ukraine and Israel. The men and women of Ukraine on the front lines will not sleep for those 2 weeks. This past weekend, Vladimir Putin reminded the world that he isn't going anywhere. He celebrated victory, in quotes, in Russia's presidential election, imposing his power until at least 2030. Mr. Speaker, Putin knew that there was only one possible outcome of that election. He would like the world to think the Russian victory in Ukraine is inevitable as well. Every day, however, Mr. Speaker, the brave men and women of Ukraine prove him wrong. Our NATO allies who continue to supply Ukraine with vital military assistance prove him wrong. Now, this House, this week, in the next 72 hours, needs to stand up and give Ukraine the aid they desperately need. We must reject aggression and terror. For 447 days, we have signaled reluctance over resolve, doubt over determination, and division over decisiveness. We have emboldened freedom's enemies while leaving its protectors defenseless. How sad for America to be in that position. How sad for the leadership of this House to leave us in that position. We have failed to aid Ukraine in 447 days and Israel in 165. 2 weeks back in our districts may feel short for us, but that will be a very long time for our Ukrainian friends. They've already must contend with the consequences of our inaction. Thus far, Ukrainian air defenses have tried to shoot down 4 of every 5 Russian missiles fired at their cities. Hear that? 4 out of every 5. Now, because of our negligence, because of our reluctance, ammunition shortages, they will soon be able to target only 1 in every 5. In Bakhmut, a Ukrainian artillery squad explained that they're only shooting an average of 15 shells a week. My colleagues, 15 shells a week to confront the Russian bear. Before America aid dried up, they were shooting 400 shells per week. One Ukrainian soldier shivering in his foxhole on the northern front line recently said that because of these shortages, we are losing so many people. There are so many bodies, we can't even bring them back. How demoralizing is the inaction of this Congress? How irresponsible is the lack of action of this Congress? To watch the Russian invader receive aid from North Korea, Iran, China, and the rest of the axis of evil while we fail to act. Have we lost our courage, our commitment to freedom? A Russian invader who massacres civilians in Bucha, a dictator whose greatest political opponent is found dead in a Russian gulag, a tyrant who forces occupied Ukrainians to vote at gunpoint in an election with but one choice: Vladimir Putin. Putin wants this House to think his victory is inevitable because he knows that his victory is impossible if America stands with Ukraine. So let us stand with Ukraine. Not in 2 weeks, but today. Let us stand with Israel in its effort to defeat Hamas and recover the 134 remaining hostages in Gaza. Speaker Johnson says he is looking for a path forward to work with the Democrats on Ukraine and Israel. Take it today. We will work with you in that path. Mr. Speaker, the path has been clear for quite some time. Over 300 members of this body have
Gentleman's time has expired.
Voted to aid Ukraine.
The gentleman's time has expired. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Style. The gentleman's time has expired. I'm grateful for my colleague.